Hi and welcome back to the channel. This just a brief overview of what we're going to be doing to the PX. I've got the scooter in. If you've been watching my videos, it follows on from the Li Series 2. What we'll be doing with this PX 200 is we're going to be checking the timing, checking the cylinder, piston, cylinder head, probably giving it a decoke if it needs it. It's been running rich, but it's had Lambretta petrol in it with 4%, and it is an auto lube engine, so it's probably been running way too rich. I've not had a day's problem with it, to be honest, just that it does smoke a lot, but Vespas do tend to smoke anyway. So I've had an upgrade to a disc brake. It's an EFL model, so I got the I went out of my way to actually buy a scooter with this on, because you can't buy the Mark 1 version anymore. I was trying to keep it, you know, like add-ons that you would have bought, not just replace the forks and put the latest disc brake on. So this has got the first Grimica, which Piaggio themselves actually adopted and started fitting to the scooter as a standard fitting. I don't know which year they did that, but this is a 84 scooter, so it didn't have it. It had a drum brake standard on it, so it's after 84 anyway. This upgrade, as far as I know, was about 86 when they first brought it in, but I'd need to check on my facts for that. I might even get round to doing a service and changing the dot fluid in it. It's a cable operated, that's the reservoir disc brake, so your handlebars can still be the drum brake handlebars, which I much prefer. They're a lot tidier than the later ones where they've got the cylinder, slave cylinder, or master cylinder, as it's master up on the top, isn't it? So the master cylinder hanging over the edge where you can get drips of fluid down on your paintwork. You've got none of that here. It can only really drip onto your forks in your drum, or your disc in this case. I've replaced the link to just a chrome one. Again, that would have just been a plastic job. It is a plastic chrome one that I've put on, but it's not the later style disc one. I'm not even sure if that one actually fits. I never tried, although I've had them. I never tried swapping it over. If I just turn the forks over, I think it's quite a nice design. The actual wheel itself is a nice design. They're all new bearings in it, as the bike was rebuilt totally 5 years ago, resprayed. About five years ago now. I've got pictures that come up updating, telling me about, you know, how far I'm into it. I sprayed the bike myself, stripped it down, rebuilt the engine, and done some upgrades with the electrics. It runs full DC. The battery's out over there. I've charged it up. I will get tidied up one day. And it's got a digital speedo, vapor digital speedo, and it's got a digital petrol gauge as well. Put jag lights on the back, GS panels on it. I've got the sort of the German Heller backlight, and I've adjusted the back. I've got GS type, although they are for a PX type GS. Crash bars on it, PX rear carrier, original saddle on it. That's the original style that came with the EFLs. It's auto lube, butylene oil in it at the moment. Regardless of where that is, the petrol's on, as I say. That's one of the jobs I'll be getting around to doing. The choke, all new stainless steel, that came with the bike, so not brand new. All new floor, resprayed, top down. I changed the ignition, all the keys basically are new, and it looked like somebody had tried to steal it. It belonged to an old guy. although I'm the third owner of the bike, I'm technically the second, because the guy I bought it from only bought it to sell on. He was a painter. It's a Nottingham bike from new, Daybrook Square. It's G-Reg, and it's always lived in Arnold or Nottinghamshire where I live, so hopefully it will continue to live around here. I did change the indicators on the front to amber ones, just think they look nicer with the green, and I'm contemplating whether to put the old PX, because I've got loads of mudguards, take that off, take the chrome off of it, and put the original one back on. But I don't know how much it's going to interfere with the disc brake. There's not a lot of space. I'd probably have to move it down on the fork link. That'd be the summer anyway if I get around to doing that. A lot of people slag the disc brake off. Personally, I think it's as good as complete hydraulic. It definitely is miles better than a drum. There's no comparison to the old drum on the front. The drum on a Vespa's adequate, and I'll leave it at that. Also, other things I did with the bike was I bought a brand new exhaust on it. It's got an original Piaggio exhaust. I bought a brand new piston and barrel, and I can't remember which head is on it because I had 3 or 4 hanging around at the time. It could, when we open it up, it could have the American style low compression head on it. I know for a fact it seized on me once when I was going to Armando's in Sheffield about 3 years ago, and that's the only problem that I've had in the 5 years of ownership with it. Like I say, it's running miles too rich, but I will, when I drain the petrol out, I'll get around to start running it on no oil in the petrol, and running it at 2%, and not probably 6 that it's running on at the moment. So it is a very smoky bike. When you open it up, there's tons of smoke comes out the back. And what I'm going to do also is, well, I'm going to change the oil, give it a service, and they're all things that I'll break down into little videos, what to do, what to check the cables. Probably boasting about my own work, but I don't think you'd get on a better P200, and the controls on it are like silky smooth. Changing the gears are silky smooth. The clutch is 100% perfect. It starts on the button, and it's relatively quick, 65 mile an hour ish. I'm not a guy that belts down the road 100 mile an hour, but this is my go-to bike if Lambreta's playing up, etc., and I want to go out somewhere and guarantee getting there, then it's this beast that always is the backup to everywhere I go. So it's abused, it's kept running. I've not really done anything with it this year at all. I checked the rear hub on a different video, which I'll probably add to this playlist. The MOT guy, every time I take it there, says it's got play in the back wheel, but they all have got a tad of play in the back wheel on PXs. They're known for it. I checked it and I can't find any play in it at all. So when it goes back for an MOT later on in the year, I will have a word with the MOT guy and get him to show me what he means by play. It's just, maybe he just needs to not be educated, but to understand that Vespas do have a tad of play. This has got poly bushings, engine mounts, suspension, so it is a bit harder than a normal PX, although the suspension's standard and soft as butter. It's like, you know, sitting in a car basically. It just glides along the road, and it does go when you open it up as well. I don't particularly like Vespas when they're on the open road and it's windy. They just have a nasty habit of getting caught in the wind and being blown, which I think Lambrettas don't tend to suffer with that. Lambretta would be my choice on a long run, and Vespas, where I come from in London, you can't beat them basically up to the next set of lights, stop, go to the next set of lights, stop. They're great for city work, they really are, as you probably know if you've already got a Vespa anyway, or you're thinking of buying one. Also as well, I put the later headlight on from the disc model, I have got an LED conversion, but because it's got a what's known as a devil light, is red. So if you put your parking lights on, you'll get a red halo. And I'm not 100% sure, without speaking to the MOT guy, whether he'd let that go or not. You can't see it when the headlight's on low beam and full beam. If you look at where I've put a little video up on my site, it says my conversion LED. You'll see it on standard headlight. You can't, although the devil's eyes are on, you can't see them with the power of the LED light anyway. So we'll get around to that as we get along and go through it. So I'm going to end this video now because I don't want to keep waffling on and boring the pants off of people without showing them anything. But the next video in this series, we'll take the panel off and the rear crash bar, and we'll get the cylinder head off, air filter, etc. And we'll go through stripping that down, cleaning your carburetor up. At the moment I'm going to have to drain the petrol down to take the petrol tank out, so it'll be how to take a seat off, how you would realign it again to clamp it down again, what's under there, what my connections are to the petrol level indicator, your fuel, what goes to your fuel gauge. That's all standard. All I've done is calibrate it to that. I can't remember off the top of my head. It was between 97 and 107 ohms. So you just set up your petrol gauge to read that between 0 and 107 or 97, whatever it was, and it gives you a workout of how much between that it thinks you've got in the tank. It's probably as good as the original, and it doesn't sort of go up and down randomly. If it says half a tank, you look in the tank, it looks like half a tank. So I'm quite happy with that. I won't be changing that. The handlebar top itself came from Vietnam. It's an aluminium cast, not plastic like you get on a normal PX. I've got a few trick bits on it. Like I say, it needs a good service, and it needs checking out. Like I say, I want to check the timing. I might adjust the timing slightly, I don't know yet, depending on what it is, what it's running. I might just put the breather pipe, if I can get the petrol tap. Let's move them out of the way, and I'll show you what pipe I'm referring to. That pipe there, breather pipe, if that's missing on a I know it looks dirty, but it is a brand new tap. If that's missing, which I believe it's missing on the one in the bike, you're going to have fuel coming through all the time, no matter what this is doing, because it's your breather. There's 3 positions on the pardon me, the tap. Anybody think I was dying? But off, normal, running, and then reserve, and they go from right, so it'd be right down on here, and then up in the middle for normal running, and across for reserve, which mine looks like it's in reserve on that bike, but it's not. It's on all the time, because I believe that's missing. Now I might just change that pipe. It all depends. I mean, that's a brand new rubber, etc. It's all brand new tap, and I might put that tap on, I don't know yet. It is a genuine Piaggio one, although I can't see any marks on it. I don't believe the pattern ones have the correct length on them anyway for the breather pipe to work. So that basically should be virtually on the top. You can't see what I was poking at. The top of that hole should be in the air, not in the petrol, if you can help it. If it's in the petrol, it'll be like mine, it'll be feeding petrol regardless of where the tap is. But once you start using the bike, the petrol drops down slightly below that top of that, and you've got the air, so when you turn it off, you don't get petrol through when it's in the off position. It's quite simple, primitive, the way that they do it. I might strip this down, take that off, and move the filter out of the way. The filter does look like it's collapsed a bit. That's probably because it's been left plugging down onto bits and bobs. It's been hanging around for years, this has. I've had it for absolutely years. I can't remember if I actually did buy it for this bike or not. Knowing me, probably I buy stuff as and when they come up. and you know, I either use them or I sell them on if I get rid of the bike. So I've got no intention of getting rid of the Vespa. As I say, it's my backup machine. It's my go-to machine when I need to get somewhere, other than in a car, of course, because I use my car more than I use anything. But I hope you stick with this project, if you like. The Lambrettas were, the GP and the LI actually did need work on them. This one, I could put the battery on that's been recharged over there and just go out on it today. It's it's not something that is needing doing. It's just something I want to do as a project. So while we've got loads of downtime with this stupid COVID, it's quite easy to spend some time. I'm still furloughed, so it's a way to keep my mind ticking over. So in the next video, as I say, we're going to take off that panel, take off the rear running boards, and then I'll just set up the camera, and then we'll take off the cowlings, the air filter box, etc. And I might drain, it depends how the videos go, but at some point the petrol will be drained out, simply because I do want to sort out that petrol tap. I'm being lazy just leaving it the way it is. So it's, like I say, it's fully, the carburetor is the only thing stopping the petrol coming through at the moment, which isn't ideal. So I'll sign off for now. Please keep watching. Cheers for now. Bye.